Hey, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 28th of April, 2023. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this last trading day of this week and the last trading day of this month. So, I hope it was a good one for you. I hope you succeeded. You've made something positive for yourself. But yeah, look, guys, as always in these sessions, we're gonna have a look at the markets, at the charts, the technical setups, maybe to help you kind of make that your own decision. You were kind of hesitating on something, but like, let's say, I'll give you a few scenarios and then maybe you'll actually end up, doing something. But again, look, it's up to you. You are your own master judge and whoever, guys, you know yourselves better. So nobody else can tell you what to do. So you can only do it yourself. Now, look, in this session, and as in every session, we'll have a look at the markets, the charts, yes, the technical setups. But yeah, before we go further, we need to quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. So I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear here from the little corner there, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, the just a quick update on our website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, check us out on easymarkets.com, and yep, I believe you can find some useful information there. Look, okay, guys, now then, let's jump into the chart. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So look at the beautiful blast here we had back to the upside, and we cleared some key resistance levels. Of course, don't get me wrong, the yesterday's reversal came into the futures here on the good data from the US. I'll pick up on that in a bit. But yeah, or in general, not only data, just earnings. So yeah, we it kind of dragged all the other indices with it. But today's continuation, we did get some data from Japan this morning, and it was the usual data dump, at the end of the month by Japan, basically. So, yeah, we had the Tokyo core and headline CPI numbers that came out better than the forecast. Then unemployment did suffer a little bit. It increased from 2.6 to 2.8. However, industrial production, the preliminary number, came out much better than the forecast, so that was good. Retail sales also were a huge, or not an improvement, but look, the expectation was more to the downside, and yeah, it managed to beat the forecast, so in a way that's good. However, if you compare it to the previous number, then maybe not as good. Of course, the interest rate decision, yeah, that came out as minus 0.10, the same as previous. So yeah, look, the market took it as a positive, and in general, at the moment, I think that we're back to risk on. However, as I said to you in the beginning of this week will be a roller coaster ride, or I should say, it might be a roller coaster ride, and it actually ended up being like one. So yeah, but one long story short here, from the technical perspective, look, I previously talked about this 28,393 territory. I said if we stay below it, yes, I'll go lower, but we failed to stay above it and below it, and we pushed back above it, and actually we climbed back inside the pattern here, my rising wedge pattern. This is one of those moments where the rising wedge didn't really work out nicely. So what we need to do here is remove this upside line, the lower side of it, and just stick to some of these some of these barriers. And look, some of you might say maybe you had a trend line drawn this way. Of course, look, it's a bit of a tentative play here. It's not really straightforward. I mean, some of you maybe will say, hey, maybe we'll have, somewhat from here. Also could be in a good option, but again, all these lines are tentative, so just kind of keep that in mind. So even if you're going to draw it this way, yeah, it's just not working nicely. What about, let's say, this way? But again, this is another tentative upside line. So look, if you feel comfortable with something like that, feel free. Honestly, it's really sometimes subjective, so it's whatever works for you at that point. Look, for me, initially I was looking at the other trend line, but it didn't work. What do I need to do then? Readjust. I need to redraw, go back to the drawing table, and yes, redo everything again. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm redoing. Look, I'm gonna put this upside line for now, just out of curiosity. Not that it's gonna, let's say, carry much significance or anything. No, but okay, if it will, great. If it won't, okay, that's fine too. But one thing that I'm really focusing, and one thing that's really working for me right now here on Nikkei, is the fact that we are breaking this this 28,793 territory. That's making me a little bit more on the happy side. So the question is, can we stay above it? Well, let's wait and see. For now, I'm leaning towards the upside as long as we stay above the this barrier, above the 28,793 territory, and then we'll take it from there. ASX 200. So this one's a little bit on the lagging side, to be honest. I mean, look, we had a spike here, but it quickly faded out. So this one's not the most exciting. So I'm probably not going to spend too much time on this one. I'm just going to stick to the same game plan. If we continue to trade below the 7,327 territory, I will continue aiming towards that 50-day EMA. If we do push back inside this pattern, inside this previous range, actually, look, don't get me wrong, I'm not really looking at this as a range. I'm just kind of keeping this one for now. I want to see how it's going to play out in relation to this previous range, because in general we have a downside line here which could kind of work. So yeah, if we do break the downside line, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside, and then we could start aiming for maybe this upper side of the previous range here, and then we'll take it from there. Jumping into India's Nifty 50. Yes, beautiful move. Look, I talked about this and I said that if we clear this territory, this 17,867, but then if we do push through the 17,935, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and more buyers could join in. Well, this is what happened. My next target is the 18,155 here, marked by the highest point of February, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yep, the highest point of February of 2023. Not the highest point of this year. No, the highest point of this year is somewhere around here. Yep, that's the line. Let me just put this one on the chart. This is the highest point, the current highest point of this year, 18,342 on my futures market here. And yeah, look, for now, long story short, I am still aiming for the upside. As I said it before, that if we do push through this area, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside. And well, I'm getting what I want, and this is the idea for now. For the downside, well, this is where I can take the level again, this 17,867. If we do fall back below this, I will consider a bit of a retracement back to the 100, the 50, and the 200-day EMAs, and then we'll take it from there. Nasdaq, boom to the upside, guys. Look at this. I mean, this is amazing. We broke the downside line. We moved towards that 13,222 territory, 220 zone, the one that I kept on talking about. And there we go. In a way, my mission accomplished for now, because what I said before, that if we do break the downside line, and this is what I was talking about yesterday, if we do break the downside line, I will go higher. And of course, the big name, where is it? There it is. That's the culprit. This is what helped NASDAQ to move nicely to the upside. So look, for now, let me just double check something. Oh wait, yeah. So look, Meta did perform, did show good results. Okay, so that's wonderful. I mean, everybody's now talking about Meta. Everybody's talking about this. You know, there's a lot of hype. Will it go further north? And it can, to be honest. I mean, look, good results, good everything. They're talking about how, you know, everybody, you know, wrote it off too early. But look, if you did that too, I don't think that you should be, let's say, very disappointed, for example, because look, okay, we do get these stocks that kind of get devalued, or you know, they have some sort of negativity around them, and you decide at that moment what you decide. So if it looks for you, you know, if it looks for you, it's bad. It's a bad investment, then don't go in. Okay, I get it. Like somebody says, but hey, it's like, you know, and especially people who, you know, managed to capture, for example, this nice, beautiful move here from the 100 area. And then they said that, yes, of course, Meta will recover and, you know, it will be good and stuff like that. But how do you know that? I mean, okay, you look, how you don't know. Sometimes it's, yes, the company might promise you all the best stuff, and you know, they can promise you this and this and that, but if the company, let's say, doesn't innovate, I mean, we've seen these companies going down the drain. So let's say if that at that point you felt that it's like, let's say it's not maybe a good investment, you went in somewhere else. Okay, maybe you didn't enjoy as big profits as this, but that's fine, guys. Like honestly, nobody has a crystal ball. And this is like, and if you hear somebody telling you that, oh, you know, I knew that it's going to go higher. No, that's it. Straight away. You don't talk to that person anymore. Honestly, that's just plain negativity around that. And this is what you don't need. You need to have a clear, you know, if you missed the rally, friends, okay, that's fine. There's going to be plenty of stocks, other stocks, where you can, let's say, you know, capture this nice, beautiful 100% rally here from the 100 level here. And yeah, look, again, don't, like I said, don't beat yourself up. I mean, if you missed this, I missed this as well. Okay, fair enough. I mean, there's going to be another, you know, opportunity. Maybe actually, if you have the capability to short it, maybe we can short it at some point later on, but you know, just for a temporary move. But if the market starts certainly going south, then yeah, maybe I'll go into a short on Meta just for a little bit, maybe for a bit of a retracement, maybe back to that 200 level, who knows. But again, like I said, there's always opportunity. So you know, honestly, don't care about all the other people who are trying to put you down. Don't care about that, guys. Care what you see in front of you. If at that point it's not working for you, it doesn't tick all the boxes, just, you know, that means it's all okay. If you got it wrong, well, a lot of people get it wrong, so not everybody's getting it right. Even those who managed to get this one correctly, maybe they have another stock which, you know, they're not getting very correctly, if I can say that grammarly, like in that grammar form. Anyway, coming back to Nasdaq, look, what's the next step here? Okay. The 13,220, fantastic hold up here. My target got reached, wonderful. So now what? Well, the thing is that we also almost went very close to that 13,350 territory, one of my favorite levels here for now. And look, I'm still gonna keep an eye on it. And for example, this downside line needs to go. Another problem here that I'm having is, of course, this range. So as you can see here, yes, we are in a range right now. So once we get a clearance of the upper side of the range, then yes, this is where I'm going to get a little bit more excited with the upside. And this is where I'm going to get, you know, start aiming for some higher levels. But until then, I am just observing the price action. I am just, okay, yes, fantastic. We might see a continuation move higher for sure. There could be something like that, or maybe not. So, you know, that's why at this point, if you, let's say you missed that breakout, leave it. Leave it for now. Just keep an eye on it. And once we start clearing, let's say, the upper side of the range, then yes, that's where, you know, potentially more buyers could join in, because a forthcoming higher high would be confirmed for the downside. Look, and again, as I said to you this week will be, in the beginning of this week will be, or could be a bit of a roller coaster ride, and so far it's proving to be that. Because look, we also today, we have the very important PCE number that's coming out from the US. That's going to be very, very interesting to see how it's going to play out. So the yeah, so the PCE number is just a second, basically just so yeah, we have the measure of the seasonal food and price, like the price of index, which includes the more volatile. Just a second, I'm reading out the kind of the correct form of saying that the core price index is the less volatile measure of the PCE price index, which excludes the more volatile and seasonal food and energy prices. So this is the core one. So this is going to be quite important to watch. This is what the Fed watches. And again, coming back to the Fed, guys, look, so far we are sitting at the 85.4 today. Yesterday we were at 76, something like that, but because the market was kind of declining. But now the market popped, and of course with the idea for a rate hike, for a 25 basis point rate hike, came back to the 85% again. So will that be the case? We'll see next week, because that's already next week. I have been talking about this for a month, guys. So yeah, we'll see how that's going to play out. So far, I think that we might stay with the 25 basis points, unless in the beginning of this of this, or let's say this week, or maybe in the beginning of next week, we will start seeing like major sell-offs or something like that. Maybe that could help, but I think that for now we're on track of the 25 basis point increase. So let's keep an eye on that one, guys. Let's see how that's going to play out. But I think that yes, we might still see, you know, a rate hike. Another scenario, this is what I want to run by you, but basically it's also helping me to speak it out and kind of say it out loud. Maybe I'll actually find the flaw somewhere in my theory or anything like that. But look, if the market is already expecting you know, the rate to go higher, for example, this is what you can have. So if we already are expecting for the rate to go higher by 25 basis points, maybe the market is already pricing that in, and basically the indices here could continue rallying, and we could see, you know, more positivity, and I think that, you know, even going into all that kind of negativity in terms of rate hikes, I think that the market could still continue rallying, just because it kind of already is pricing that in, that, okay, yeah, fair enough, it's going to be a 25 basis point increase. But you know what? We should stop living right now. Let's continue growing, and blah, blah, blah. And this is the point where actually it would be quite interesting to see if the Fed somehow, let's say this table here changes to, and we see a 50 basis point chance here for a rate hike. Now, this is where it could become quite interesting, and this is where it could help, you know, bring the market down. So look, monitor this. If like I said, for now we stay, let's say, at something like that, then we could see, yeah, the market still rallying, maybe, you know, pushing nicely to the upside and blah blah blah. But if suddenly it starts, you know, we suddenly see a shift here, and we see a 50. A probability for a 50 basis points rate hike. Well, this is when, like I said, this is when it could become quite interesting. Maybe that could cool down the market a little bit. So let's keep an eye on it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, beautiful, honestly, beautiful rebound here. Look at this beautiful rebound from this upside line. I talked about this, and I kind of didn't really let's say, put too much emphasis on it, and I never do, and I never will, because again, initially all these lines are tentative. Yes, when they rebound, let's say an instrument rebounds from a tentative trend line and no longer becomes a tentative one, then yes, of course, you're thinking, yeah, I knew that is going to be you know, a good trend line, but you never know, unfortunately, guys. What if it would have broken it? So, you know. So just we go from what we have, and look, I talked about this, and I said that if we at least push back above the 33,800 territory, I will consider a bit of a move higher here towards that 34,269.82, and then we'll take it from there. If we clear this barrier, the current highest point of April, now that's, yes, that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more buyers. Now, look, in general, what you need to look at here is probably not only a weekly candle, but also a monthly candle, because look, we're in our last trading day for April, and this is a good question. Will we actually get that break here? And another thing, look, on the monthly chart, it looks quite interesting because it looks like a possible bullish flag. Let me try to draw this. I'll remove it after. So we're near, this is the area that I'm keeping a close eye on. So this is roughly around the 34,150, something like that. If we clear that, then yes, maybe, you know, more buyers could join in, because look, at this point we seem to be forming something of a bullish flag here. So we have our pole and we have our little retracement here. So if you really want to consider this as a bullish flag on the monthly chart, then certainly a break of this barrier is needed above the 34,282, and then we will kind of take it from there, guys. But again, look, from the shorter term perspective, for now, I am just looking at some levels here. That's my arrow here. There we go. So yes, for now, I'm just keeping it cautious. I'm having a cautious approach here. Yes, I will keep an eye on this little downside line here, better seen on the daily. But in general, something like a part of me is saying like, ooh, a nice bullish scenario is building up. But again, we cannot say that yet because we need a confirmation break. Yes, the fact that it pushed above the 33,800 level of mine here, excuse me, this is what I was talking about previously this week. That's great. Yes, that's wonderful. That's one step towards the, you know, some more positivity. Now we need to clear this downside line, and then we would need to see maybe a clearance of that. But look, for now, let's keep it short and simple. Let's keep an eye on the PCE today and see how that affects the indices. But for now, could be quite interesting. Last trading day of the month, guys. Don't overtrade, of course. That's very, very important. Even though it could present itself with nice opportunities at the same time, let's put it this way, if your portfolio for this month already sits nicely in profit, let's say you've met your target, like for example me, I mean, I'm very tempted to you know, do something here, but my portfolio is already looking quite nice in the, you know, for this month. So I know that these days could really mess it up. Although it could present its, if I get it right, of course I can make it better. But to be honest, I rather wait this one out. Just keep an eye on it, or at least have a, let's say, one thing what helps as well, have like, let's say, a normal account, and then for example have a you know, a gambler's account, for example, where you can release the steam. So for example, if you think that, look, one account is like for your moderate yourself, you know, for your logical, moderate, you know, sophisticated yourself, and then the other account is for you crazy lunatic, you know, which goes all in all the time and blah blah blah. If that helps you, I think that, you know, that could be a good option as well. So just keep that in mind. So if your normal portfolio is already like in profit, just keep it. Honestly, don't mess it up with the last trading day of the month, and especially when we get important data like today. Just if you have another account, you can try to do something there, and then, you know, at least this way you can diversify it a little bit. And I think that for me personally it helps. Again, you know, you do whatever you're comfortable with, so just kind of, but the most important is always risk what you can afford to lose, otherwise there's no point in trading. DAX, the German index, there we go, we're pushing back up. Look, I mean, I talked about this. I mean, we pushed back above this 15,891 territory. Okay, that's great. We're near that psychological 16,000 mark. Look, in general, the simple approach here is to just wait for a push above that 16,063 territory. A nice forthcoming higher high would be confirmed, and more buyers could join in. For the downside, Of course, I'm going to mark this level right now. This territory here, the 15,810, approximately around here. This is going to be my new area for lower levels. But look, I would say if I want to go lower, I'm waiting for that drop below the 15,700. And another thing that supports this downside scenario idea for me is the fact that the 50-day EMA is approaching slowly this target of mine. So if we approach that target, and when we see the index falling all the way here, maybe that could be a cue for some downside. But again, still a confirmation break would be needed. Dollar index, very quickly. Okay, looking good. Okay, of course, look, I can say that it looks positive. It looks great. Or should I say somewhat positive. I know I'm contradicting a little bit everything here because we're still in a downtrend. We're below all the EMAs. We're below a downside line. The only thing is that I do like this one pattern, which tends to work out for me occasionally. Is for example, whenever you have a steep decline, and then you have this steep decline is followed by let's say a less steep decline, like a gradual decline. We tend to get and then you can say, for example, you can draw something like this, like a downside line. It tends to break it. This is at least what I've noticed, and again, that could play out this time. But again, for either way, I need that confirmation break. For me, that would come here on the break of this downside line. If we do get that, yes, more buyers could join in. Then a push. I still need to see a push above that 102 territory in order to get comfortable with higher levels. So either way, my confirmation levels still need to be met. So until then, I'm just observing the price action. For the downside, look, previously I talked about this area, and I'm still going to talk about it. This 101 zone, somehow it provided good support. And if we do clear it, then yes, some more sellers could join in, and especially if we break this upside line right here, taken from the low of the 14th of April. And then, yes, we could start examining the downside. Gold, looks interesting. Honestly, this is just amazing. Look. I talked about this and I said, look, we are still within the rising channel. And yesterday, I said that if we continue, like if we break that 2003 territory, I will go higher. We didn't break at that. We just found good resistance near it, and we drifted back to the downside. Now, again, we've flirted with the lower side of the rising channel, and we broke it, but it created a false breakout. Now we're testing that lower side of the rising channel again. Will we actually break that? Well, I tend to stick sometimes to the logic that if we've tested the trend line, for example, several times, we continue to test it, and we're struggling to, let's say, in a case of an upside line, like an upside trend line, if we continue testing it and we're struggling to create a higher high, that's a little bit of a flag for me that, we're struggling with the upside. Unless we start pushing, again, for me to go higher, I need at least that push above the 2003 territory. Then I'll target that 2015, and if that gets cleared, that's where it could come in nicely here for more buyers. But the fact that it's currently flirting with the lower side of the rising channel, that's worrying me. And, how many more false breakouts can you get? Well, of course, as much as you can, as much as we can. But, eventually I think that one of the sides will give up, and either is going to be the bulls or the bears. So let's continue observing the situation, and if we do break and stay below the lower side of the rising channel, guys, this could open the door towards that 50-day EMA, initially towards the 1969 territory, but then towards the 50-day EMA. Silver, look, the same story. Again, the same story with this one, because I'm watching this downside line here. Now this one is a little bit tricky. I'm kind of kind of leaning towards the upside on this one. Look, in general, on gold, I'm also still on the bullish side because we're still within the rising channel. And as long as that pattern remains intact, then the boundaries of that pattern remain intact, it could show the direction of the trend. So in this case, for example, yes, still the lower side is providing good support. So basically, maybe, you know, we could see a reversal, a sharp reversal back to the upside here. So just kind of keep that in mind. And with silver, the reason why I'm not getting very bearish on this one, because although yes, we are declining right now, we have this descending triangle, but I'm sticking to my pattern which I have here, where we saw a steep decline first, and then we see a gradual decline. If we break the downside line, that's where I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside, and I'll go a little bit to the up, a little bit higher, towards slightly higher levels. Oil, WTI oil, so far so good, testing that upside line from underneath, and it's providing good resistance. So as long as it continues to provide that, then yes, another decline here could be possible. We could start aiming for that 72.25 territory, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, I would like to see for the downside. For the upside, I would like to see, okay, this is still valid, this arrow here. Yes, I am still getting, I'm going to get more comfortable if we do push through the barrier of mine here, the highlighted one, this whole strong territory. But from the shorter term perspective, if we do push back above the 76.74 territory right here, then yes, potentially this could open the door towards some higher levels. Initially, I'm going to target this little highlighted zone here, but if that gets clear, then yes, I will go a little bit further to the upside. So for now, long story short, I am keeping an eye on this 76.74 territory. If we clear that, yes, I will go a little bit higher. For now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside because we're still below the upside line. Bitcoin. So, okay, look, I talked about this yesterday, and I said to you guys, keep your eyes on that 29,000 mark. If it continues to provide resistance, maybe like a nice little decline here could be possible, but maybe a possible head and shoulders pattern could be formed. But if we start clearing it, then maybe scrap the whole head and shoulders idea. And if we cleared it, so now scrap the whole idea for now. Because look, my upside scenario was from around here, from around that psychological 30,000 mark, which we've managed to reach, but we are failing to kind of break it, I would say. Yeah. So look, and if we do get that push above that psychological 30,000 mark, okay, great. I'm getting comfortable with some higher levels, but not if we start falling back below the 29 zone. Well, I will aim for the downside, to be honest, and we'll aim for slightly lower levels again. Bitcoin Cash. By the way, I'm not spending too much time on that because again, I've talked a lot this week, so just kind of giving you a quick update, just to see what's happening. Look, Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, because this one's not showing good results yet. I get it. Sometimes we have cryptos that are laggards, and we have, let's say, one which is exploding, and then others just kind of pick up later on. Yes, that could be the case, but at this point, I would say it's interesting. It's interesting that this one is not really showing good moves here back up. So for now, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. I like Bitcoin Cash. It's quite interesting. But at the moment, I want to see what's going to happen here with these two trend lines that I've drawn yesterday, and both of them are a little bit on the tentative side. But okay, let's see how this is if they're gonna hold or not. If they're not gonna hold, well, I'm gonna get more comfortable with the downside if we do fall below that 111.66 territory marked by the current lowest point of this week. Now, jumping into Forex a little bit here, guys. For AUDUSD, look, this pair is it's showing us a bit of choppiness here. It pushed back up above the 0.6625 territory here, but then drifted back down. So basically, I can say that this level is no longer needed, and this highlighted zone is no longer needed as well, unless we are gonna form something like this. unless this is going to be that range. So long story short, as long as we stay below the upside line, which we managed to break here, something like this is possible. So we could go towards that lowest point of March and near the 0.6564. And if we clear that one, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. If we do push back above this upside line, still I'm gonna get more comfortable with the upside if we do clear this downside line. Taken from the high of the 14th of April. Now, I get it's a little bit on the tentative side, but nevertheless, an upside line, which could, play out nicely. Because at the same time, maybe we could see a pop above the 50-day EMA, and then we will take it from there. NZDJPY, beautiful. Honestly, this is a rocket ship. Look, I talked about this yesterday. I said I was a little bit disappointed because I had the range initially, but then I said, hey, maybe this is going to actually be something like a falling channel, or sorry, not really a falling channel, but more of a like a little correction before another possible leg of buying here. Maybe this this downside line here is making it nicely here. Actually, I'm curious, is this going to work or not? Okay, there we go. So this is, yes, maybe it could be seen as a bit of a downside channel here. So look, not ideal, of course, but nevertheless could be an option. So let me just see if I can do something. Okay, look, I get it. Maybe I'm trying to see something where it's not, but somehow I want to see if this is going to work or not. Because look, we've popped above this 82.14 level. I talked about this yesterday, and I said that if we move back and stay back above this area, I'm leaning towards the upside. And what we're having here, we're having a strong move to the upside. Well, that's good. That's great. Good for the bulls. Now my question is, where is it going to stop? And looking at the chart here, actually, I am aiming for now towards the 100-day EMA still. But I want to see if we're not going to get something which we used to get here recently, like a false breakout through the 100-day EMA, test of the 200-day EMA, and then drift back down. So I want to see if that's going to be the case. If it will, then yes, I will take it from there, guys. But for now, look, if you've missed this rally, I would say, look, there is still room for the upside. There's, for example, this 100-day EMA and this 200-day EMA. But if you're not comfortable with that, because maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe this is going to be like a falling channel here, maybe it'll test the upper side of it and stall here. Yes, could be the case as well. So if you're not comfortable with this, then just leave it. If we start breaking these two lines here, maybe then that's where you could get a little bit more excited with the upside. With further upside, we could start targeting that 83.7782 territories. But if those get cleared, well, this is where it could open the door towards much higher levels. So for now, long story short, I am, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on this this area here. Again, maybe not an ideal one, but maybe trying to see something where it's not. But so far, it seems to be, it might be working out. Maybe this is, like I said, maybe this is a falling channel, and we're heading towards that upper side of that falling channel. And then maybe we'll get a little hold up here. So let's wait and see. USDJPY, this one is on fire, guys. Honestly, was there any news coming out right now? Just let me double check very quickly. So, okay, we got some GDP numbers from, I think, wait just a sec. I think that the BOG press conference is happening right now. Right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's the reason for that. So let's see how that's going to play out further, of course. But look at this fantastic move here. Look, I talked about this pair, USDJPY. I said that if we fall below the 50-day EMA, and we stay below it, then yes, I'll go a little bit more to the downside. But instead, we rebounded, pushed back up, and we cleared the 200-day EMA. We cleared this downside line, and now we're clearing the level, the area that I was watching here very carefully, accurately, the area between the 135.1926 levels right here, Yeah, if we stay above this, I will continue aiming to the upside. But look, of course, all the short sellers right now are in thinking, hey, you know, they're probably rubbing their paws and thinking when to get into that one, like at least for maybe a little retracement. Look, I would say you're not wrong there. But because we're having such a strong impulse, look, be very careful on that one because it might. And again, today is a bit of a special day. So, last day of the month, last day of the week, a lot of data coming out, earnings as well. It's just all over the place. So just kind of, you know, be careful. And by the way, in terms of earnings, today we have who do we have? Yesterday we had Amazon mastering. Oh, actually, by the way, given that we're seeing some sort of a lagging moment, let's say, you know, in indices, or actually not the lagging moment, actually, I think because when these big companies do report, they report after the hours of, you know, so it's kind of we get that effect the next day. So but let's say today we have Exxon Mobil, Chevron, Colgate, Palmolive. Yep, these guys are reporting in the morning today. So you might see some nice activity on the Dow. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, in general, like I said, for now it's yeah, for now it's an interesting day. If you like, I'll repeat myself if you missed my words, which I was saying before. I said that if your portfolio for this month is already in positive territory, guys, and let's say you have done your target, or at least you came very close to your target, leave it. Leave it, honestly. Otherwise, you're going to mess it up and you're going to be more frustrated. And then you're going to go into next week trying to recover everything. Your mentality is going to be wrong. You're going to be all over the place. Your trades are not going to be going. And then basically what's going to happen, you're going to blow up your account. So just in order to avoid that, honestly, if you think that, you know, or have, like I said, another account where you can go crazy all in all the time and you don't care about losing money in that account. But one account always has to be moderate, nice, and you know. By the way, in terms of by Bank of Japan, I'm just looking at the news right now that are coming out. Let me just see what's happening there. I think that the rates were kept the same, but tweaks towards forward guidance. Okay, we need to have a look at that because again, this is why we're seeing some sort of weekends. So yeah. Okay, so right. Okay, yes, we are having the a change in the. It will. However, the BOJ said that it will remove forward guidance that pledges to keep interest rates at current or low levels. Okay, so that's giving us, you know, that weakness in the yen. So basically have a read through that. I want to still jump into other instruments here, but have a read what's happening here with the BOJ. Yes, their forward guidance has been changed, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing some weakness kicking in. And is that having a positive? No, that's no effect yet on the indices, but Nikkei. Oh yeah, that one's in space. Look at this. I mean, this is just, yeah, it's rallying, and wow, look at this magical move here. Anyway, USDJPY. For now, watching this one. Let's see how this is gonna play out, of course. But hey, be very careful with those shorts. We have already made what, like from today, let's say from the open of the candle, 133.80 to 135. I mean, wow, this is already spectacular. And look, is this a rising channel? Could be, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. For now, like I said, watching this NZDJPY as we speak. Look, a test of that 100-day EMA. We were here just a little bit lower. We have done an extra, you know, 20 points here, 20 pips. Good. Now the question is, can we clear this one and move towards the 200? Well, what I could expect here is maybe, yes, we could move there if we break the downside lines here, and then we could test the 200-day EMA. But by the end of the day, we might drop back down, back below this. So just kind of keep that scenario in mind. USDJPY, USDCHF. Okay, looking at this one. Oh, by the way, USD dollar index, yes, pushing a little bit higher. Okay, USDCHF breaking or at least trying to break again this this downside line. So, look, either way, I am just gonna stick to my conservative approach here. I'm gonna wait for a push above the 0.90 territory. Yes, I get it. I could be missing out on a lot of territory right here, but I want to be a little bit more on the careful side. So if we break the downside line, yes, we could go a little bit higher, but for that you would need to either risk a little bit less, have your a tight stop loss just in case it reverses back to the downside, back below the downside line, and then yeah, take it from there. But yeah, if we do clear the 0.90 territory, I'll get a little bit more happy with higher levels. GBPUSD, this one's yeah, we're still stuck here. Look, I have redrawn some levels this week. In the beginning of this week, I said to you that maybe we're having this nice little range here or something like that. Look, it's not really ideal. I don't really like it myself too much, but I'm probably liking the level here better, this 1.2343 territory, which almost is now coinciding with the 50-day EMA. But the fact that we are still above the upside line here, taken from the low of the 26th of September, I'm still kind of leaning towards the upside. And if we do clear the you know, if we do clear that 1.2547 territory, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. So yep, for now I'm just observing this one. Like I said, I need to see a clearance of one of the areas here. For the upside, I need to see a clear of this barrier. For the downside, actually I'm gonna stick to the upside line. Yeah, all this area here, I don't really like it. I'm just gonna observe the price action. Ride or die 5526. I can see you there in the chat room. Hi to you. You know, my only question is actually how, you know, because I was having these issues with the chat box here, with the live chat box this whole week. I'm curious, when did you actually write that? Did you write it right now? Or, you know, which pair or which instrument I was covering when you wrote that, hey, in there? Because again, like I said, just because I have been having some issues with the live chat and somehow the messages were not coming through straight away. So yeah, it would be nice if you could actually comment in there and tell me what point did you say, hey, which instrument I was covering. Just for my own record, kind of to know, you know, what kind of a lag are we having here. GBPJPY, very quickly. Beautiful, honestly. This move right now. Oh, look at how well we quickly are retracing on USDJPY here. There we go. So GBPJPY, a nice retracement as well. Look, I talked about this previously. I haven't looked at this pair for quite a while. Actually, I think let me remove all the drawings and start fresh. So, one thing for sure, what I want to do is to mark this barrier, the 167.97, or in general, you could round it up towards the 168. We cleared the 168 zone. We moved towards the 169, and we tested this territory here, the 169.28, 29. And that's a quite important area of resistance. That's the highest point of December 2022. So in general, you can see that we are forming these higher highs for this year. So we're kind of, this is a new high for this year, by the way, just in case. Because we started off the year, yes, here. This was the low of this year, 155.35, 38.6, I would say actually. And now we're here basically. So look, good movement. In general, I am targeting this level, the 172.13. That's the highest point of October of 2022 and the highest point of 2022 at the same time. So good potential target, but of course some clearance is needed. So at the moment, I think that if we've missed this barrier here, this 168 territory, look, don't worry. Let's see how we're gonna trade in relation to this area. Maybe we'll get a bit of a retracement, who knows? Maybe a retracement back to this upside line here, something like that. But, you know, if we want to go lower, I will, for now, at this point, actually, maybe I'll change this at a later stage. But for now, I'm just going to keep an eye on this little area right here, the 165.41. If we clear this, yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside. Not only to mention that the break of this upside line could attract a few more sellers. Yes, could do, but probably getting a little bit more excited with the downside from around here. Sir Sammy, great to be here. I'm great to have you here. Great to have you here. Great to have everybody else who's joining in or joined already. So yes, guys, I mean, thank you very much for killing your time and spending your time with me. I mean, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. I know that everybody's time is valuable. So, you know, a massive bow down to you. But look, coming back to this, let's see how this barrier is going to play out, this 169.28, and then we'll take it from there. Euro Aussie, look, I talked about this this week, and I mentioned that I'm keeping an eye on this 1.6828. This is, by the way, the high of the highest point of October of 2020. We came very close to that, almost tested it, but maybe we'll test it today, you know. But if we continue to hold, if this continues to hold, maybe something like that could be possible, where a bit of a decline here, a move back down could be possible. So let's keep that in mind. If we do clear the 1.6828 territory, I'll go a little bit higher. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is quite an interesting one here because, sorry, Euro Aussie. Euro USD. What am I talking about? Sorry, wants to know the moving averages on your chart. You mean this, the red, the 50, the 100, and the 200. So the red one is the 50-day EMA. The 100 is the green one is the 100-day EMA, and the black one is the 200-day EMA, exponential moving average, basically. So okay, look. The reason it's not, I'm not saying that these are the best lines to have the best moving averages to have in your chart. No, for sure. You have to find something that works for you. If this works for you, great. For me, for now it works. Once, let's say if suddenly it stops working, I'll remove it, I'll go to something else. I always constantly shift here, because again, if something stops working, why should you stick to it? Well, just create something new, you know, like, or find something new, research and see maybe, you know, something else would work. So whatever you're comfortable with. For me, at the moment, look, it's working, it's nice. On some instruments, it is working more than on others. For example, let's say in Euro USD, the 50-day EMA is maybe not as important as the 200-day EMA. That's a little bit more. That's a little bit better. So, you know, but sometimes, occasionally, I do look. So, for example, you know, the 50 and the 100 are not really doing a good job on the euro or the euro dollar. But it's just kind of like a little reference point for me to, you know, to aim for something. Maybe it's actually the simple moving average what's working here better, but hey, you like I said, you find yourselves what works for you better. This is just my chart, you know. There are so many analysts out there, and so many different views and perspectives. So yeah, so just kind of try to find what's working for you. Look, for me right now, what's working is this barrier right here, the 1.1076. In order to go higher, I need to see a clearance of that area. Will that be the case today? Ideally, I would like to see that, but hey, if we suddenly start breaking the lower side of the rising channel, guys, this is where it could become quite interesting, and we could start aiming lower towards the 1.0909 territory, somewhere around here, or maybe even a little bit lower. So just kind of keep that in mind. So for now, as long as we remain here, I'm just observing the price action. So yeah, guys, that's it for this session. I'm really happy to host this webinar, guys. I'm really happy to, you know, that you joined in. You, like I said, sacrificed your time and jumped into the webinar with me here. So really, thank you very much on that. Just correcting my glasses a little bit here. But look, one thing I want to ask you is to just be calm today. The market can present a lot of opportunities today, for sure. But just be careful and cautious, and try to, you know, approach in a pragmatic way everything. Like I said, if you're doing good already for the month, if your portfolio is looking good already, just probably leave it. Don't mess it up, or have another account where you can maybe test out your strategies and maybe you can go crazy in there, all in and stuff like that. But just kind of have this separation from you, the moderate and logical one, and you, the crazy gambler. So we all have that little crazy gambler in us, and there are different things that trigger it. So somebody gets somebody has this triggered by one thing, somebody else gets that little gambler triggered by another thing. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys, and try to control your little gambler in you. But guys, look, and everybody else, look, everybody who joined in, ladies and gentlemen, if you found this useful, thank you very much. I'm happy, and I really appreciate you joining in. So if you want to catch me on Monday, oh sorry, actually, by the way, on Monday there's not going to be any Daily Pitch International on Monday. We're going to resume on Tuesday. So yeah, hope you had a blast here with me today and the session. I hope you'll have a blast, a great blast during the weekend. Just enjoy yourselves, relax, forget about trading, and then let's come back fresh next week. Don't forget that next week we have the Fed, so that could be quite interesting, guys. So prepare yourselves for next week, for a new month, and then we'll see what the market has installed for us, and how greatly it can reward us. So yeah, let's wait and see, guys. And so yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you on Tuesday, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful day. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.